Hey everybody, John O'Connor here again, and today I wanted to talk about flavor in character building. So as you can see here, I'm holding some salt, I've got some pepper, you can see that I use them regularly, and I actually just have a medley of different spices, just to keep that in mind. Because all spices and herbs do is they add flavor, which is what you should be thinking about when you build a character. Doesn't matter if it's a pre-existing idea that you tweak to make it your own, it doesn't matter if it's something you come up with all by yourself. When you build a character, regardless of the genre, and it really should be regardless of the DM, you should be building a character that you want to play, and that has flavor that you like. It's not hard, it's not complicated, it's just you take an idea and you work it and you rework it and you have your first draft, your second draft, your third draft, your fourth draft. Me personally, I'll go through 5 drafts of a personality before I settle on this is what I'm going to show up with on game night. That's just me. You can do it in probably a smaller amount of drafts or maybe a larger amount of drafts. But the idea is flavor the fuck out of your characters. Take inspiration from whatever you can pick up, whatever you can watch. It doesn't matter if you're watching a sci-fi cop drama like Almost Human, or if you're just watching Sherlock Holmes on BBC America. Same principle, you know, you got a detective, you got someone trying to figure out the case. You can take the core elements of both of those story arcs, and you can come up with your own detective. Because the primary building blocks are the same. It's just the setting that's going to change. See this? It's the complete works of H.P. Lovecraft. Good friend of mine, the map maker, Jonathan Mueller, gave it to me. I've actually come up with a couple character ideas just by reading this. And I don't play sci-fi horror. I'd like to. I haven't had the opportunity yet. But I've gotten character ideas for D&D medieval settings. It's not hard. I mean, you take a personality you see, and you just go, I want to rework that. Reworking a pre-existing idea shouldn't be a dirty thought. You shouldn't rip off. Because if you're just playing, okay, my character is Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica. What did you add to it to make it your own? What did you tweak? Everybody here heard the story of Londo, my first rogue. The idea was Londo Mollari from Babylon 5. That was my source of inspiration for playing that character. Now go watch Babylon 5, you come back after 5 seasons, rewatch My First Rogue, and you tell me how those two things are anything alike. These are not! But that was, I took an idea, I reworked it, and I rethought it. The flavor of the original Londo Mollari and what I ended up with, completely different. But it was just a jumping off point. Jumping off points, reworking, reimagining, that shouldn't be a dirty thing. That you should be okay with that. A great example of this being done. Wicked. Wicked. It's a great book. And the idea behind it was a little boy watched The Wizard of Oz. Thought, why is nobody crying for the witch? I mean, she just lost her sister. But everybody wants to criminalize her. You know, there has to be another side to the story. So, Mr. McGuire wrote this many years later, and it's become a successful 4-book series. That's what I'm saying, though. Great character ideas can come from anywhere. Comic books. This is Hellraiser. Love Hellraiser. I'm waiting to play a much darker campaign where I can be like, hey, I want to think like one of the characters of the Hellraiser. You know, okay, we killed a couple people, but it was to stop Armageddon. If I'm playing with a new DM who wants to do a little more black and white things, Green Lantern, you know, I can draw inspiration from that and going, okay, how does Hal Jordan or Kyle Renner handle a situation? You know, what are they going to do? So maybe if, you know, the person wants to be a little more black and white, I can push them just a little bit by, you know, well, I'm good, but I have a temper, or, you know, I'm the anti-hero. I always like to push my DM, whoever it is, But I don't push to break. I push to, okay, give me richer story, give me more, give. If I'm playing in your campaign and I've sat there and listened to you interact with another player for an entire hour, going about social problems in the church, corrupt politicians, I'll sit there, I'll listen, I will take notes, and I'll just absorb. But don't shit me out of things. If that other player got an hour, I don't expect an hour that same night. I can go a couple nights without being the star. That's okay. I don't have a problem playing a backup character. But I want my moment to shine, and I don't want anything else to circumvent it. I don't want to, okay, well, here's my moment to shine. This is where my skills and abilities will be shown off. And then somebody else can do the same goddamn thing I can do, or you have a shitty NPC who can also, well, that was it. No. I'm going to take the time and effort to tell you why I took those skills, to tell you why I've trained in the things I've trained in. So don't shit me out of my moment. Flavor can come from anything. That's the entire message of this. Oh, you can put that in the descriptor. Flavor can come from anything. Doesn't matter what you're playing, doesn't matter who you think you're going to be, good, bad, or evil. Doctor Who. There's been 13 Doctors now. You could take any one of those personalities, put it into any kind of game setting, and I guarantee you, if you played it well enough, and you adapted the character to fit that world, nobody's going to look at you and go, that's David Tennant's Doctor, that's Matt Smith's Doctor. They're just going to look at you and say, well, you came up with a really good character idea. It's all about tweaking your idea to fit the story it's going to play in. If you're playing high fantasy Pathfinder D&D, and you want to play the Doctor, you don't get a sonic screwdriver. I'm sorry. You could be the high intellect who has long, in-depth conversations with, the kings and the nobles. That's cool. Don't expect to get the grill at the end of the day. I mean, you're not playing, the Doctor Who that I watch, that I see, yes, if you watch an entire series of Doctor Who, you will understand the Doctor is the main character. You take one of those episodes just out of sequence, and you just watch it by itself, take somebody who's never watched Doctor Who, and let them watch an episode. They're not always going to realize that the Doctor is the main character. Sometimes he just plays a strong background role. He's ever present, we know he's there, but he doesn't get the most dialogue. I mean, the story isn't 100% around him. Yes, he'll come up with a solution at the end of the day, but it wasn't about his trials and tribulations, it was about the other characters. So, flavor the hell out of your character, take inspiration from multiple sources, or take it from one, but tweak it enough that it's your idea now. No point, though. No point do you go online and you find a cookie cutter cookbook. Well, this is the best build of this character. It ensures the most hit points, the most damage I can do. Nobody will be able to see me. No, absolutely not. If you're gonna build a character, build it for the joy of having a story told around them. Do not build it just to swing a sword, cast a spell, or hide. Build it with personality, with depth, with wants and needs. Every character you build should at some point have a moral dilemma that they could suffer from. At no point should there be a, wow, there's multiple shades of gray to this situation. No matter what I do, I'm going to hurt somebody. And your character goes, well, I was just hired. No problem. Yeah, it can happen occasionally, depending on how jaded your character is. But at some point, your character should have a moment of being human, to feel, to want. You shouldn't play D&D to win the game. You should play D&D to tell and be part of a story. So flavor is the foundation of that. Not your skill points, not your hit points, not your ability scores. The story that your character had before he joined the group, that he's going to have during the group, that is the basis of a good character. I hope you guys enjoy. Please like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate it. Bye.